guys, how's it going? Today we have a beautiful cart full of pink blooming plants, all for a sunny location. There are 2 different varieties of rose, 1 variety of SPIREA, and 1 variety of ECHINACEA. I also want to give you an update on one of our stone pathways that was just completed because it's gorgeous. Quick view of all these beautiful blooms, and there's the pathway. Isn't it gorgeous? Pedro and his crew just finished this one yesterday. I mean, you guys know we just planted the Shade Master honey locust right there, and it's just been this vast flower bed that was created like 2 years ago, and it has sat empty because I was unsure of what I wanted to do in this space. And now that we've got something solid in here, I feel like we can just take off and go for it because we kind of know how we need to plant, because we're not going to be planting large things really close to the pathway. We'll do some small beautiful things and then we'll build up from there. In the end, because let me just back up here. This is our main lane, our driveway here, and this is not an opening to like a main entrance to the house. So I want it to be fairly shrouded. I really don't want to be able to see this until you are right up on it. So in the end, it won't look so perched out here, but let's take a look. They just did a fantastic job. Look at the lines. And they did this in like a day and a half, and it's really long. Okay, so check this out. Nice little garden walk. And you guys know that we don't do our stone pathways with a dig out and a base of anything. We just pack mulch in there, water it down, pack more mulch in until the rocks are level with the flower bed outside of it. So we'll be bringing in compost for this too, so that the whole area will be bringing the level up just a little bit. Look at, I am just so thrilled with this. So we have a little dining area right here. I'm gonna do like a bunch of hostas right in here. This one clearly leads right up to our house. This one leads over to the Versailles garden. Now I feel like we can start developing this. We planted some Gatsby Gal, I think, hydrangeas over here, and only 2 survived. This one died. That one's kind of coming back a little bit. I think out of 6. I don't know what happened exactly. Now I feel like we can start developing this whole area, and this can be, fairly shaded. It gets a little bit of morning sun in here, but I'm thinking like hostas and ferns and things, and then it will move on into more of a full sun sort of situation until our trees get some size. And I love actually that the table is not on any sort of base other than mulch, which we use compost. That's what it's sitting on, because we shift it around a lot. The light changes a bit depending on what time of year it is, and we can shift the table over or move it out, and it's just a really nice, really nice that way. I'll probably be planting a few little things to soften up, but we'll keep this area fairly open, as well as the swing area here. We'll keep that open, although this is being used less and less, so I am guessing it's not going to stay for very long. And then we can start developing that area as well. Here we go up to the house. We were a little limited here just because of the boxes. Not limited, I guess. I mean, you could take out more grass if you wanted to, but then you'd need to move sprinklers and all of that business. So as you come up here, it meets up with the surround, the concrete patio sidewalk. And here's a look out that way. Isn't it beautiful? It is a real treat when you work with somebody that has an artistic eye and who really cares about how things turn out, and who is just so fast. Like, it just amazes me to watch them work. So it was just Pedro and one of his guys, and they just came and busted this out. It would have taken Aaron and I like 3 years to finish this project, or more, possibly. Anyway, I was just so excited to show you guys this pathway, and I'm so thrilled that Aaron had the foresight to pick up extra stones last year when they had them in stock, because sometimes you cannot get a hold of the same stuff, or you don't get it in quite the same color. So it's really nice that we've been able to do all of our stone walkways so far in the same stone, so that there's some sort of cohesion to the whole thing. Just love this so much. Here comes Russell. Hey buddy. Also, it's quite breezy and it rained last night. We're supposed to get more rain any minute. So I'm not sure. Hopefully the audio is okay. I apologize if it's not. It's really hard on breezy days to have it sound okay. You can see the sky here. Just a wild beginning to June, that's for sure. We're loving it. All right, let's go over these varieties of plants before we run out and plant them. We've got the SPIREA right here, which wintered over behind our greenhouse, just sitting there in their containers. And if something comes back this beautifully, the next year from a container, I think it's worth a shot out in the landscape because, oh, they're just so pretty. SPIREAs typically do well for us anyway, but this one is double play gold right there. This one only grows 1.5 to 2 feet tall and wide. So it's a very small size plant, more like a perennial, honestly. So easy to tuck in and find a spot for. They bloom like this late spring, just that very vibrant pink. But the thing I like about this one is that it has the chartreuse foliage. So even when it's done blooming, it will have that really bright color of leaves, which really shine in flower beds. I just really like that. This is a zone 3 through 8. It is resistant to deer, and if you should want to prune it, although I don't know that you would need to because it stays so little, you would do it immediately after it's done blooming. But you can see even all of the little buds here. Hopefully you can see that. This camera doesn't do the best job at picking up little stuff, but we'll enjoy blooms and color off these for a while yet. Then our echinacea here, and now I did plant some of these last year. This is called the Fuchsia is Bright, and as these mature, the flowers reach up to like 4 or 4.5 inch diameter. And I love the cones. I love kind of that orangey color, that orangey glow. And then they turn a kind of a charcoal gray, as do the stems. So you've got a really high contrast between stem and leaf color. These also take a whole lot of abuse. They don't need any kind of special soil. They want it to be fairly dry once they're established. And they bloom their heads off all season. Usually they start a little bit later, like ours out in the landscape are just starting to open. They're not quite this far ahead, but we'll enjoy color on these all through the season. And the pollinators are super attracted to these. Okay, now we've got 2 different varieties of rose. One is the reminiscent coral. I planted this one, 3 of these actually, in a video last year. And these 2 types of roses actually wintered over for us here as well. And we do need to treat them with chelated iron. They're dealing with an iron deficiency, which probably once they're in the landscape, we won't deal with that. But I think just being in their container, they were maybe a little bit of extra stress was put on them. But we are going to replace one of the corals that did not make it through the winter. And it's just got a very pure coral color. This bloom looks like it's the freshest. Multi-petaled, it's really nice, and it's got a wonderful scent. And then in the same kind of series, we have the reminiscent pink. In a recent recap, one of you asked if we had planted any of the reminiscent roses, and I knew I had planted the coral, and then we planted the reminiscent crema as well, which I will maybe show you if we head over that direction. So gorgeous. We looked at it in the rose tour, but I couldn't remember the name of it that day. I had to remember a lot of names during that tour. I couldn't remember that one, but the crema is gorgeous, and this reminiscent pink, I knew I had seen it in person, but I couldn't remember where I planted it. Forgot that it was in our stash that we saved from last year. They have kind of a, is it a Cecil Brunner? Is that how you say it? Cecil Brunner? Anyway, has kind of that look to it, that vibe. A little bit of a smaller flower, but multi-petaled. The most delicate pink, and they come out in these big sprays. I am really excited about this one. I think they're so sweet, and they grow about 3 to 4 feet tall and only 2 feet wide. So like a vase shape, and easy to kind of maneuver around in a flower bed. We can put them semi-close to the front. And the roses are a zone 4 through 9, so that's nice. You don't see as many zone 4 roses around. I'm gonna go grab our biotone, our chelated iron, and a shovel, and we're gonna get to planting. I think I'll most likely plant everything out here. I wanted to show you what this rock pathway looks like with more mulch between the stones. Oh, I just love these pathways so much. They add an incredible amount of structure, and you can see the initial application of compost here in between the stones. So we're going to continue to kind of water that in. It'll pack in kind of on its own, and then we'll add more. And we are working currently, Paul has been bringing over compost, and it's being spread around. It looks so good. Let me walk you over here. Paul and Bethany do such a good job. And just look at this. It feels completely solid to walk on. This is about where Aaron and I stopped. Aaron and I did the walkway up to that other point. So look at over here. Oh, I was looking forward to this area in particular being mulched because we had to add so much drip line when I planted these GMs and the lamb's ear earlier on. And then, you know, we did a little offshoot path here where you can go over to the berry area. And all of this is fresh compost. Feeding that soil. It is just tidying up beautifully. Oh, were you wanting to dig some holes for me, Aaron? He laughs. You're going to what?
Your brother asked if we wanted to go to lunch.
Oh.
You want to go?
Sure.
Just come back after?
Yeah. That sounds good.
Okay.
Well, I guess we're gonna have a little break for lunch. My brother is in town with his kids, so anyway, I'll be back after that and we'll start planting. All right, guys, it's a new day. Blue skies, bright sunshine. It's nice and warm out. Yesterday, when we took a break to go have lunch with my family, it started to pour rain while we were eating lunch, and it poured for about 5 to 6 hours. And this is not a light rain. It was pouring rain. We had puddles and standing water everywhere, and I just thought, nope, I'm not going to go out there and plant in this. I'll just do it tomorrow. There's sun on the forecast. We're supposed to get a possible storm again this evening. I don't know. It doesn't really look like it at this point, but they can move in really fast. So I'm going to get these things planted, and then we are going to take a look. I'm actually kind of happy. Sometimes I'm happy when projects get delayed, because I was thinking last night, like, I really need to consider where I want benches out here before I go tossing plants out just willy-nilly. And I'm thinking, so the rose placement, I was thinking around the linden, which I'm kind of still considering that, because I think along this path, I'd like to have a bench about right here, and then another bench about right here. So this bench will face this way, this bench will face our direction. So yeah, it was just something that I hadn't quite thought about yesterday when I was getting ready to plant. And it's possible wherever I planted these things wouldn't have affected bench placement, but sometimes you forget to consider those things. I'm walking back to the house because I'm wearing sandals. That won't do. I need to put on some closed-toed shoes. Now we're in business. Let's get these in the ground. Benjamin wanted to plant something, so I told him to go pick something out. Let me show you what he brought. Those are gorgeous, bud. Where are you gonna put them? Love it. Do you know those are called lantana? And do you know that butterflies and bees love those?
Oh, I didn't know those.
Yeah.
So I should set them up?
Yeah, I think you should get them in the ground. That's a great idea.
Yeah, and they might make some shade.
Yep, they'll make a little shade out here, won't they?
Little.
Yep. That's beautiful. So are you going to use that shovel? Your shovel is by the back kitchen door if you want one that's a little bit more manageable.
Oh, that. Oh, I can go get.
Okay, that is the cutest thing ever. He said that once he gets those in the ground, he might go back to the greenhouse and pick out some more. And I did tell him that there were 2 more of these lantana in there if he wanted to bring the rest of them out. And after I explained how the bees just love these plants, he said that he didn't think he wanted to put all 4 out here because he doesn't want the bees to get sick. He doesn't want them to have upset tummies from too much of a good thing. So cute. And these are going in the ground really well. You might be wondering why in the world I'm planting them right in the shade, but they're only in the shade for a really short amount of time. They get a good strong block of morning sun, and in the afternoon, like late part of the afternoon, they'll get that really hot sun. You go for it, dude. Good job.
Hey, Mama, can you help me dig a little hole?
You need help?
Yeah, you can use my shovel if you want.
I can use yours?
Yeah, I'll let you have it anytime you want.
Oh, that's so nice of you, bud. Okay, so I'm gonna scooch the mulch out, you think?
I just hit that one down so it has like a little room.
Okay.
Oh, here, I can move it out. Guys, Benjamin and I got this area planted. Do you want to show your plants first? Ooh. So today there is lantana. Even bees and butterflies love it.
It's beautiful.
Even it's by
A blue spruce.
a blue spruce right there. And over here there is roses, even echinacea. And here's the big linden.
Good job, bud. High five. Oh, this is a fun afternoon. So we ended up with the 3 reminiscent pink roses under this linden and kind of a trio up, but I bumped it to the left. So they're spaced equally apart, but I did not want to center the trunk because I didn't want it to look too contrived in the end. And I am going to start a drift of something new right back here that's a little bit taller than the echinacea, which the fuchsia is bright, grows, what did I say, 20 to 22 inches or so. So we'll do something, maybe an agastache or something right behind it that's got purple blooms, and do a drift back behind and kind of break up the trio. I mean, the trio will still exist, but you really won't see it as a trio because there will be things between it worked in and around it. And I'll start a drift of something shorter, probably some type of perennial geranium or something that goes around the front. And then the little clump of echinacea, which honestly I'd love to elongate and make this one a little bit of a bigger swath. So maybe one day I'll get my hands on a few more of those, but I really think that this little spot of pink out here is really nice. And Benjamin's lantana is so cute. We had them here initially, and then we decided they might be better over here. So that's the last time they are going to be planted. No more moving them. There are 2 more in the greenhouse that I think I'll add to that grouping later. And I think Benjamin has abandoned me now. Benjamin, are you out here? Maybe he's done for the day. And I did put the chelated iron on the roses. So we just have this little cup in here, and you can just use like a teaspoon. Probably a teaspoon is even a lot. But you just sprinkle a little bit around the base of the plant, or you can mix it in with water and water it in around the base of whatever you're planting. But that's it right there. I think I already showed that though. I can never remember when I start a project one day and then have to finish it the next day. I can't remember what I've already talked about. Sorry if it's a little convoluted. We're gonna go plant the coral rose next. Oh, I don't know if you can see the plants out there from here, but it just looks so nice to have something there. I love it. Here's the other 2 that made it through the winter. They look pretty good. Honestly, I'm gonna give them a little bit of iron as well because I can see a little bit of chlorosis starting on that one. And I think that's about where the other one was. I can see the drippers. So I'm just gonna go ahead and plant the one that I've got right in the same location. Oh, it looks really good to have 3 in this spot again. Oh, that was throwing me off just to have the 2 perched out here because they are kind of perched. We don't have a lot going on in this area yet. We've developed this side a little bit more, a little bit heavier than this area. And we do plan on putting some kind of a structure right on the other side of the Scotch pine. So I will be planting this whole thing up. I just haven't really got to it quite yet. But there's some really pretty things in this area. There's some asters and Veronica nepeta, some blonde ambition grass, some alliums that need to be cut back, some of our hollyhocks that we started from seed right here going for it. Tiger eye sumac doing its thing, naturalizing a little bit. I'm just loving it. Okay, so that just leaves the SPIREA. So I just planted 3 of the SPIREA. I think this is a really good spot for them because it's full sun. And I'm also trying to not neglect all of our kind of like, we call them our service roads, you know, the little lanes that run the exterior of our property. And on the other side, I've done a little bit of a better job planting pretty things because we drive these multiple times a day. And I want both sides of the flower beds to look pretty. And I was just noticing that I was really lacking some, you know, late spring color. So we've got the black lace elderberry here looking beautiful with its blooms. And now we'll have some pink, which is so nice. And then these aronia right here, these are the low-scape snowfires, which are new this year. They already bloomed bright white, so they're an earlier color, and these grow 3 to 4 feet tall and wide, and then these will pick up the slack of color back here and provide some pink and some bright chartreuse. I think that will be nice, that bright green, the deeper green, and then the dark black foliage of the elderberry. And that's where I'm gonna call it today. I'm really happy with everything we got planted. Just, you know, that many more pretty things to look at here in the garden. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you in the next one.